sleep. That's one of the major signs of stress for a lot of people, I think, is that when your mind is racing and thinking about all of the things that you have to do today and tomorrow and the next day, sometimes falling asleep can become problematic. Or sometimes you start dreaming about your clients.
Yeah, intrusive thoughts. You know, so again, it's important just to do the basics as far as taking care of yourself. Eat right, sleep right, exercise. Proper diet, rest, exercise. Those are three basics that a lot of us ignore or we abuse in some way. And we all know if you don't get a good night's sleep, what's your next day going to be like? And now you're going into that next day to see clients and be a therapist.
But you can use any of these techniques that we taught today to help relax you before you go to sleep.
Exactly. You can do any of these exercises laying down. So you can do them in bed right before you go to sleep just to help you pass into, you know, your night-night activities in a more relaxed state. So there are a lot of different ways to control your stress, and the key is find the ones that are right for you, because there's really a lot to choose from. I mean, we're giving you a few of the tools, a little bit of the knowledge, and hopefully you are able to garner some skills from the information that we've provided, but don't stop here. The buck doesn't stop here. Keep going, you know. Do things to increase your knowledge. Find those things that benefit you the most.
Definitely looking at yourself, looking at what causes you stress, making sure not to deny it. Just don't deny that it can be happening to you and that it will be happening, and it doesn't make you a bad person and you're not weak because of it. It's just recognizing it and then being okay to say, no, I can't take on more duties. It may be okay to say just, I need to take 10 minutes out and take care of myself. I need to take a 5-minute break and be okay with that.
Yeah, it's all right to be human, basically.
I don't think we can stress enough how important supervision is. As a clinician, we are responsible for another human being's well-being and their behavioral health. And if we're doing that on our own without anybody giving us guidance, no matter how long we've been in the field, then we're missing out and we're working in a vacuum. And we might end up doing harm without intending to, but supervision is key.
It serves multiple functions. It puts you in a more of a social setting in your clinical practice. It also allows you to get other opinions on cases, because as human beings, we're all individuals and we all see the world in a slightly different way. So perhaps that peer support that you get, even though you have a PhD and even though you've been in the field for 30 years, that other opinion might illuminate that case for you in such a way that you would have never gotten to on your own.
And not just in terms of our client care, but how we're affected by it. A supervisor can look and say, you look like you're getting a little stressed. It looks like that particular case bothered you more than some of the others. Or, did you get a good night's sleep last night?
Right. And someone from the outside looking in is going to perhaps be able to see that a little more quickly or a little more clearly than you trying to self-regulate in that case.
So if you were to evaluate your life right now, you look at your life, you look at your job, you look at your social world, and you rate them on a scale from 1 to 10. Where would it be? And really look at that. And if it's not a 10, why not?
These are difficult questions to ask ourselves, and can we even ask the questions honestly? You know, and it's important that, you know, you do this exercise, and really try and be as honest as possible. Because if your life isn't a 10, then what do you have to do to get it there? What's it going to take?
And are you willing to do it? And one of the ways to be able to identify why it's not a 10 is to look at your thoughts, is to look at what are the stressors in your life, and is there going to be relief? Are you going to be able to do the things that you want to do?
That's a sign in itself. If you're telling yourself, I don't have time to go do that thing that I truly enjoy, that's a sign you may be under a bit more stress than you need to be.
So we do have some say in how our lives go, and we do have some say in how we can manage our own stress, whether it's saying no, whether it's practicing self-care, but we do have some control over it. The decision is in our hands.
Right, and we really have to be aware of the power of that control and how we can utilize it to make ourselves better as human beings and also to better our practices as clinicians.
Practical exercise. Feel free to pause and rewind this exercise until you feel comfortable. This may take several minutes to master. Breath of fire. This exercise may be done lying down, sitting, or standing. For this demonstration, we sit. This exercise is known by many names: reverse breathing, warrior's breath, and the 9-breath method. The number of breaths is not important. At any time you feel uncomfortable in any way, don't be afraid to discontinue. Begin by keeping head level, eyes open, mouth is closed, tongue is touching the upper palate, feet are shoulder-width apart, a straight line from heel to toe. Knees are slightly open. Hands are palm over palm, covering the navel. You may want to use a slight rocking motion when doing this exercise to help you feel it. Straightening and expanding the diaphragm and the lower abdomen on the inhale. Bending slightly forward at the waist and contracting the diaphragm and the lower abdomen on the exhale. Inhale, pushing the diaphragm down, expanding the lower abdomen first, then continue breathing into the chest, expanding the chest to its fullest range of motion. Pause for a moment. Then exhale through the nose, pushing the diaphragm up and allowing the lower abdomen to roll gently toward the spine. Repeat the sequence several times, breathing slower and taking longer to complete the sequence, each time taking in more air. Inhale, pushing the diaphragm down, expanding the lower abdomen first, then continue breathing into the chest, expanding the chest to its fullest range of motion. Pause for a moment. Exhale through the nose, pushing the diaphragm up and allowing the lower abdomen to roll gently toward the spine. Once you feel you have reached capacity to take in more air, slow the next repetition down. As slow as possible, relaxing completely on the exhale, letting the air out without pushing. Then inhale as large as possible. Pause and hold your breath. This is called a breath lock. Physically swallow with your throat. Purse your lips as if you're using a straw. And exhale through your mouth as slowly as possible while keeping the diaphragm pushed down and the lower abdomen expanded. Once all your air is released, resume normal 3-stage breathing. When you are ready, repeat the entire sequence as many times as you need to help you relax. Now let's do it one more time together. Inhale, pushing the diaphragm down, expanding the lower abdomen first, then continue breathing into the chest, expanding the chest to its fullest range of motion. Pause for a moment. Exhale through the nose, pushing the diaphragm up and allowing the lower abdomen to roll gently toward the spine. Inhale, pushing the diaphragm down, expanding the lower abdomen first, then continue breathing into the chest, expanding the chest to its fullest range of motion. Pause. Exhale through the nose, pushing the diaphragm up and allowing the lower abdomen to roll gently toward the spine. Once you feel you have reached capacity to take in more air, slow the next repetition down, as slow as possible, relaxing completely on the exhale, letting the air out without pushing. Slowly. Then inhale as large as possible. Pause and hold your breath. Physically swallow with your throat. Purse your lips as if you're using a straw. And exhale through your mouth as slowly as possible, while keeping the diaphragm pushed down and the lower abdomen expanded. Slowly. Once all your air is released, resume normal 3-stage breathing. When you're ready, release your hands and let your arms fall slightly rounded at your sides. Smile and take a bow. Your practice has ended.
Well, after all of this talk about stress, about identifying it within ourselves and outside of ourselves, but also learning a lot of practical exercises, and that there is a positive message that we can deal with our own stress, we can reduce our own stress, and actually improve the qualities of our lives. So really, at the end of all of this, what is your stress level?
Oh, mine's pretty good. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty relaxed right now. But I do want to remind the audience to check the bonus features of the DVD. And if you are taking this course for continuing education credits, there's some pieces there that you have to complete to get your CEs. So thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed.